Hey there guys, in today's video I wanted to talk about something I do with just about any new animal that I start working with, which is to establish a bridge. Now a bridge is a training technique, but even if you don't consider yourself an animal trainer, a bridge is going to be a great way to build a positive relationship with your animal and to more effectively communicate with them. So if that's something you guys are interested in seeing, you want to make sure to stick around. That's going to be coming up right after this. Hey there guys, this is Jack over at High Red Bird, where I am tirelessly working to find new ways to make the keeping of exotic animals and pets more exciting, more affordable, and ultimately more enjoyable. Now, I have just gotten in a new animal that I am working with, Marshmallow, the sulfur-crested cockatoo, and I have been documenting my journey with Marshmallow. I've shown you some of the steps that we've taken so far. The next step that I want to take with Marshmallow is to establish a bridge. Now, a bridge is a training technique that gives an animal instantaneous feedback about a particular behavior you would like to see continue. When you are training an animal, it can sometimes be a little bit challenging to instantly mark and to let them know exactly what behavior it is you would like to see them do. Think about it if you are working with a parrot. If you get it to wave and pick up its foot, by the time that you reach into your training pouch, grab a treat and hand it to that bird, it may have already put its foot down. So the question becomes, did you reinforce that animal for picking the foot up and waving, or for setting it back down on the perch? If you use something like a bridge, you can instantly let the animal know that picking that foot up was the behavior that you were looking for, and that reinforcement will soon be on the way. Now, a bridge can be any number of things. It is something that indicates to your animal what you are seeing is what you would like to continue to see, at least as far as we are concerned. As far as your animal is concerned, it is an indication that food reinforcer or primary reinforcer is on the way. So it can be a word. A lot of people use things like good boy, good girl, good dog, good bird. Any of those things can work. It can also be sounds, things like clickers or whistles. I've known people who have had deaf animals who will use hand signals as a way to bridge their animal. Now, the way a bridge works is you have to establish it. It is paired with a primary reinforcer. So that means when you're first starting off, when you have a brand new bird, if you start by telling them good bird, that means absolutely nothing to them. And that's why a bridge can be pretty much anything you want, because you do have to work to establish it. So if you want your bridge to be pineapple, the bird picks up his foot, I say pineapple, he knows I'm going to give him a treat. That can work as well, just know that you're going to have to establish that. I will go ahead and caution you here that using things like good can be a little bit tricky. And the reason being that a lot of us, when talking to our animals, will use things like good just when we're talking to them on a regular basis. Now, if you establish that good is a bridge, your animal hears good, they are expecting a food reinforcer, and they don't get a food reinforcer, you can ultimately start to undo some of the training that you've done without even thinking about it. That is why some people really enjoy using things like clickers or using whistles, because that's going to be a sound that you can't easily replicate on your own when you are just interacting with your animal. One of the most important things I tell people when they are working with a brand new animal, or any animal in general, any interaction you are having with that animal is a training session, whether or not you think of it that way, because your animal is going to be doing behaviors and you are going to be doing things that either increase or decrease the likelihood of that animal continuing to do those behaviors. At the end of the day, enjoy your bird. It can be really easy to get bogged down in the training terminology. But establishing a bridge is a great way to go ahead and build that initial positive reaction with your animal. So what you're going to want to do is use whatever you are using as a bridge, and I'll tell you right now that I'm explaining this before I have a bird out, because again, brand new bird that I am working with, I don't want to give him a bridge that we're working to establish and then spend a minute talking to you guys about what's going on. Meanwhile, the bird's sitting there wondering what happened to my reinforcer. I'll offer the bridge, whatever it may be. In Marshmallow's case, it's Good Bird, and then he'll get the food reinforcer. We'll do that 2 to 3 times, and then we'll be done with the session. The great thing about establishing a bridge is it's something that you can do even if your animal is still in a quarantine cage, if your animal is a little bit cautious or wary of coming out of their cage. You can still work on training that in just little walk-by training sessions several times a day. The other thing to keep in mind, there is going to be a finite amount of food that your animal can consume, and with birds in particular, it really is a small amount. So picking a primary reinforcer that works for your animal, that's an appropriate size for your animal, is going to be important as well. For Marshmallow, we established that he really likes corn, so that is actually a pretty good size for me. If Marshmallow liked things like walnuts, I would want to give him pieces of walnuts. I certainly wouldn't want to give him whole walnuts because that would keep his attention for a very long time, and I wouldn't be able to work with him. And especially if it was something like a walnut in a shell, that would be even more challenging. But with all of that said, let me go ahead and grab Marshmallow and just show you guys how easy this is. All right, Marshmallow, you're a good bird. Good bird. Good bird. Now it really is that simple. Now as you work on that bridge, the bridge itself can actually start to function as a reinforcer of its own right, but you need to remember that keeping it paired with that reinforcer is what gives it that power. So you want to make sure that you are paying attention to getting your animal a reinforcer in an appropriate time frame. And it's always good to go ahead and just take times periodically to work on reestablishing that bridge. You know, that's why when you're doing animal training, some days you can push your animal and you can do really challenging things. And some days it works to do really easy, simple things as well. Having an animal do some basic behaviors and offering a bridge, offering reinforcement, giving them a day that is completely easy and they can win is a great way to build their relationship with you. But of course, the challenges and the mental stimulation are going to be important as well. So all of those are things to just keep in mind, but I certainly hope that this video has given you guys a good place to start if you are working with a brand new animal. So if you guys have liked this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the High Red Bird channel if you haven't already, if you'd like to see the continuing progress that we're making with Marshmallow. And until next time, I hope to see you guys later. I do need to say a special thank you to my patrons on Patreon. By signing up to support this channel, they help me make more tutorials and videos showcasing animal care possible. If you'd like to find out more about subscribing to my Patreon, you can find the link in the description section down below. Thanks so much.